Right now at 5, the city of Pittsburgh heats up its efforts to help people stay warm as the temperatures begin to drop.
We are tracking a line of strong thunderstorms moving across southeast Kansas, rolling off our way. We'll tell you what's going on with them and when they'll get to the Joplin area coming up.
And the Miami Police Department takes a sky-high approach to fighting crime, and they're sharing it with some students at Wyandotte High School.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. We have got some thunderstorms to track, and that is exactly what we're going to start with this morning. Taking a look at the Skywatch storm tracker, you can see the showers and thunderstorms in parts of southeast Kansas. So this is a line that has been evolving along a cold front. As you may or may not have noticed, we've got a strong southerly breeze ahead of it. So we're not talking a ton of energy with these storms, but there is enough that we do have what are known as significant weather advisories with these storms. It means they're not quite severe, but they do have a little bit of a punch with them, and they are stretching all the way across this area here. We're looking at roughly 40-mile-an-hour winds and some small hail with some of these storms. And we were just looking at the radar loop. This little guy in Elk County, he developed within the last half hour. So we are keeping an eye on these storms. They do have some energy to work with as they push on off to the east-southeast across the area. And we're expecting this line to develop a little further back to the south and west as it heads into our area. It gets closer, rather, to home here. And so we're looking... Timing-wise, we're talking the Pittsburgh, Joplin area, say between 6:30 and 7 this morning, if this line holds its speed and its strength. So we will be keeping an eye on this as we go through the morning. And remember, for the latest severe weather alerts, anytime you're not near your TV, scan that QR code, download the KOAM Skywatch weather app, everything you need to know in the palm of your hand, or you can go to your favorite app store and search for KOAM Skywatch weather. Now, so we take a look at 7th and Rangeline. If we give it just a second, we've been watching quite a bit of lightning with these storms. There's a fair amount of electricity out to the west as it moves on in here. In Joplin right now, though, we see the storms to the west, but we are otherwise clear. And 69 with that gusty south breeze. We've got 67 Chanute, 69 Columbus, 68 in Neosho as we start the day. Live MoDOT camera looking east along I-44 from Rangeline, so it doesn't see the lightning yet. We do have a red light for your commuter cast this morning as these storms roll in just in time for your morning commute, bringing some heavy rain and gusty winds along with them. So if you're driving a high-profile vehicle, be especially careful. Now, by this afternoon, these storms clear out quickly behind this front, and we have very pleasant yet windy conditions back behind them. The kids getting on the bus this morning, send them with the rain jacket, send them with the umbrella. 64 thunderstorms, winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Wind shifts direction later today out of the northwest, still gusting upwards of 25, 74 by the time the kids get home. Going through today, though, once these storms move through, and they will do so this morning and be out of here by, say, 9 o'clock, we have a nice day ahead of us. 75 for the high, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, and partly cloudy to mostly clear skies this evening, but cool, dropping back down to a low of 48. And then we're already starting to talk about the weekend where we see some additional rain chances coming at us on Saturday, and then we clear out again on Sunday. We'll take a look at the full forecast on the 7-day here in just a few minutes. And of course, if any of those storms do get a little unruly, we'll let you know.
All right. Well, it's been a while since we've had storms here.
It was kind of an exciting drive in, seeing the lightning in the distance. You know, obviously no one wants the severe weather, but the thunderstorms and, you know, having something to actually track in the morning, let you guys know about, it's a little more energetic day for me. So I brought extra coffee.
There you go.
I brought a large thing. I have a large thing of coffee, but it's usually not full. It's full this morning.
There you go. And we are prepared, and so you will be as well. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, emergency workers, a life-flighted individual after being struck by a vehicle. Galena Fire Department, Galena Police, Cherokee County Sheriff's deputies, and the Cherokee County Ambulance responded to the 2200 block of Wood following a report of a pedestrian struck by a vehicle. This is still a developing story, but you can see footage of the life flight chopper flying off with the individual from the Galena High School practice field. This happened about 8 p.m. The vehicle was driven from the crash site and the driver not injured. No further details are available at this time, but you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for updates as they become available. An autopsy report reveals the extent of a Miami, Oklahoma man's injuries from a fatal hit and run. The crash happened in Miami back in February. Authorities responded to reports of a man down on the road. And when they arrived, they found that a car had hit 58-year-old Quang Zing Yi. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy report shows the victim suffered 56 specific injuries and that he had multiple blunt force injuries that led to his death. They say his death was classified as an accident. Authorities charged Mindy McBrien in April for first-degree manslaughter and leaving the scene of a fatality accident. The court has continued her case 5 times. That's according to court documents, with her next court date set for November. You can find the autopsy report and a breakdown of events on our website at koamnewsnow.com. The Miami police chief and the Miami drone team were at Wyandotte High School on Tuesday. The team showed the aviation class of the school different types of drones, drone programs, and their uses. Police chief says technology is evolving and students should be aware.
You know, this technology is emerging. It's an up-and-coming field, and for young aviation students, it's a great demonstration to see what it can do right now. And by the time they're graduated in the field, the capabilities will just be tenfold again. It is ever-evolving field, and just to show them what the capabilities are now and what they can get into, I think it's important to them to see what these can be used for.
Miami PD drone team is the only law enforcement agency's drone team in operation in Northeast Oklahoma. Coming up a little later in our show, our own Shagun Bamadali takes us for a bird's eye view of this story. Pitt State hosted a conference to discuss the outlook of the local economy. Officials say the local economy relies on the status of the national economy. However, Pittsburgh economists are optimistic about growth within the city. Officials expect both Pittsburgh and the state's economy to grow.
I think Kansas will do better, even on the energy side as well, another one. We'll do better relative to the U.S. in this context. So a 0% growth net, which will decline the first half but come back, but we have driving sectors that will allow us to do better here.
Despite the labor force being smaller, the growing population could soon meet the demand. Coming up in our 6 o'clock show, our own Amber Jenkins takes us to Pittsburgh for a closer look at this story. Thursday, October 20th, will now be known as Project Warmth Day in Pittsburgh. Mayor Cheryl Brooks recognized the event with its own day. Project Warmth started as a way to help people with utilities in Crawford County as temperatures start to drop. Funds are distributed through Catholic Charities, and the Salvation Army and volunteers are always welcomed.
So it is very busy, but it is very joyful to see everybody come in and to make sure that it's gone smoothly and that we're doing the best that we can to serve our community.
Project Warmth has been serving the community for more than 30 years. The event will be in person this year. Well, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app.
All right, a check of that 7-day forecast, and you can see once the rain clears out, again, we've got an absolutely beautiful day for us across the area. And again, we start to warm up a bit into the weekend, then we see another system with some slight shower chances on Saturday. And after that, we settle into a very fall-like pattern. In fact, take a look at the overnight low Monday. After we reach a high of only 65, we drop back down, see our first 30-degree day as we've got 38 for Monday's overnight low. We just got to get through these storms first this morning. And again, some of them are strong. So we're talking Labette, Neosho, Wilson, Elk, Chautauqua counties, Montgomery counties. These are all strong thunderstorms in that area. Winds up to about 40 miles an hour and some penny-sized hail. And if they do intensify, we will let you know.
All right. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Webb City Cardinals may be hosting the Class 4 District 7 tournament this week, but it was Carl Junction in action against Willard on the diamond last night. Was it a defensive battle or did someone bust out the bats? Chris has the answer in sports.
Plus, we introduce you to Robin, a comfort robot that one hospital says has become a most welcome addition to its team.
And a recent survey found millions of middle and high school students reported using e-cigarettes. Health experts call this an urgent problem. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, it is playoff time for high school softball in Southwest Missouri. In Webb City, the Cardinals host the Class 4 District 7 tournament this week. In the quarterfinals last night, it's Carl Junction facing Willard, with the winner moving on to face Nevada in the semifinals. Willard hit it hard in this game. In the fourth, Allison Miller, high and deep to right center, puts it off the scoreboard. Two-run shot for Miller. She drives in 4 on the day. Next batter, just a few pitches later, Hannah Burks yanks it to left. That clears the fence. Burks makes it back-to-back for Willard. Tigers in control. But in the fourth, Carl Junction not going to quit. Sammy Sims pokes this one opposite field, finds grass. Sims in there for the double. Next batter, next pitch. Maddie Olds drives it to center field, almost hits it out, but it's off the fence. Sims scores. CJ gets 2 back in the inning. But it's Willard moving on to the district semifinals, 14-3. On the other side of the bracket, 2 other quarterfinal games on the night. McDonald County on the field against Monette. Good one there, but the Mustangs beat the Cubs 2-0. Then tournament host Webb City faces Bolivar. Laney Taylor throws a complete game for the Cards, allowing just 1 hit. Webb City wins that one, 7-0. In the Class 5 District 5 tournament in Springfield, this one a big one in the quarterfinals. Joplin hits the field against COC rival Neosho. Joplin in this one, winning a good one, 2-1. They move on to face top-seeded Ozark in the district semifinals tonight. Well, Tuesday marked MIAA Basketball Media Day in Kansas City. On the women's side, in the preseason coaches poll, Pittsburgh State Gorillas have been picked to finish 8th in the MIAA. As for the Missouri Southern Lions, no surprise here, really. They're number 1 in the MIAA preseason coaches poll. The Lions finished as co-league champions last year. They returned 10 players from that team, including MIAA Player of the Year Lacey Stokes. Stokes averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals per game last year. And according to her coach, she's only getting better.
Her work ethic's unbelievable. Just her mindset of how hard she works and how much she studies the game and learns. She's a quick learner. Coach Porter can walk her through something in the morning, in the afternoon she's working on it in practice. To me, I think that's a great thing. If we can have the kid that was Player of the Year in our league that continues to get better, we got a good chance to be successful.
On the men's side, new coaches this year for both Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern. Jeff Boschee enters his first year with the Gorillas, while Sam McMahon is heading into his first year leading the Lions. Missouri Southern is 8th in the coaches poll. Pitt State is picked 10th. Both teams will open up the season on November 11th in Kansas City at the Central Region Tip-Off Challenge. The Kansas City Chiefs won a good one Monday night against rival Raiders 30-29. The Chiefs are now 4-1 in their first 5 games. It was a nice night for the Kansas City offense. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 6 catches for 90 yards. McCall Hardman caught 4 passes for 73 yards, but like a lot of games, Travis Kelce was the star. He had 7 catches, just 25 yards, but 4 of those catches were for touchdowns.
I knew when he caught the 4th one that it was the 4th one. I didn't realize he had like 7 catches, 4 touchdowns. But they had a good game plan of kind of that old New England, hit him off the line of scrimmage, double cover him and stuff like that. I thought the other guys responded and made some big plays happen, and that's what we needed to see out of our offense. We needed guys like McCole, Marquez, Sky, Juju. We need those guys to step up in different games and make big plays. And today it was Marquez that was the big guy that made a lot of big plays happen. That's stuff that we're going to need because, obviously people know we're going to throw Travis the ball. So they're going to, in certain situations, they're going to double team him. And if we can show we can win with other guys, that'll kind of take that away, and then we can open up the entire offense.
Still to come, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calls on the heads of 7 nations for more air support as Russian missiles continue to rain down on Ukrainian civilians in growing numbers. Plus, we got another check of the forecast and a look at these storms when the KOAM Morning News returns. As we continue to track thunderstorms across the area, our weather trivia question is thunderstorm related. Which thunderstorm element kills the most people each year? Is it lightning, tornadoes, flooding, or hurricanes? While you think about that, we'll talk about these storms. So here's what we've got, this line of strong thunderstorms. In fact, a couple of these developed within the last 15, 20 minutes. So we are watching them. They are strong, so we're looking at winds of about 40 miles an hour and penny-sized hail. But if any of them should turn severe, we, of course, will let you know. But the good news right now is no severe weather. We can take a closer look at this line of storms as it stretches across southeast Kansas, and getting quite a light show on the Joplin tower cam as we look west as well. And remember, with the storms, anytime you're away from your TV, download the KOAM Skywatch weather app by scanning that QR code or going to your favorite app store and searching for KOAM Skywatch weather. The latest weather alerts, the latest weather radar, the forecast, everything you need to know in the palm of your hand. Live look at 7th and Rangeline right now. We've been watching the lightning off in the west as the storm slowly moved toward us in Joplin. 69 degrees in Joplin with that gusty south breeze. We've got 66 for Fredonia, Yates Center, Iola, 67 in Fort Scott and Pittsburgh, and 68 as we start the day in the Neosho. MoDOT camera looking live at I-44 east from Rangeline. Traffic is good now, but we have a red light for that morning commute because these thunderstorms will start to build in, and they're going to bring some heavy rain and gusty winds with them. But your evening commute is the opposite. A green light will still be breezy, but we're going to clear out. These storms will move out pretty quickly. So for the bus stop, kids getting on, 64, gusty winds and some thunderstorms, but when they get home, still breezy, but 74 and mostly clear. As we go through the rest of today, we're looking at a high of 75 when, like I said, we'll clear out after these storms move through, say about 9 o'clock or so, and have a pretty decent but blustery day ahead of us. We get chilly tonight as we drop back down to an overnight low of 48 degrees under mostly clear skies. And if you think that's cool, take a look at our 7-day forecast. We warm up heading into the weekend. Shower chances Saturday and then a much more fall-like pattern next week. Monday's overnight low, 38. Oh, and I keep forgetting this, the answer to our weather trivia question. So the answer to this question is C, flooding. And flash flooding actually is the #1 killer of a thunderstorm. Okay, now on to this. A hospital in Massachusetts has taken a novel high-tech approach to making children more comfortable in medical settings. It's an Armenian-developed robot named Robin. Jim Morelli reports.
Robin.
Yes, Kendra?
I'm a little nervous today. I have to have an x-ray.
It can't take the place of humans, it can't take the place of dogs. But at UMass Memorial Children's Medical Center, the staff sees an important role for their newest hire, Robin the robot.
When kids are here, they are nervous. They're anxious about what's going to happen. There's a lot of new faces. There's a lot of equipment.
Robin is not just another piece of equipment. Last year, Time magazine named the interactive robot one of the best inventions of 2021, praising Robin's ability to put sick children at ease.
Robin is preloaded with software and anticipates the kinds of questions that kids might ask.
And Robin asks the kind of questions that can lead to engagement with pediatric patients.
Jim, what is your favorite animal?
Easing loneliness, alleviating fear, these are some of the immediate benefits of an interaction with Robin. But evidence suggests deeper benefits may be possible.
Initial research for Robin the robot actually showed decreased admission times, increased compliance in a medical setting for things like getting out of bed and taking medication.
UMass Memorial is the first children's hospital on the East Coast to acquire Robin and only the third in the U.S.
My favorite animal is the chicken.
And Robin's favorite food is pizza, if only they could eat it.
You got it! Great job!
Robin is expected to remain at UMass Memorial Children's Medical Center for at least a year. And that brings us to our question to you. How do you feel about robots providing comfort? Are you for it or against it, or you have no opinion at all? You can vote through our website, through the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, an urgent public health problem, and that's what one organization is calling the use of e-cigarettes by kids and teens, following the results of a recent survey in which millions of middle and high school students reported using e-cigarettes this year. Mandy Gaither has a deeper look at the data and what tobacco-free advocates say needs to happen to keep kids safe.
It's a potentially dangerous problem plaguing kids. More than 2.5 million middle and high school students in the U.S. reported using e-cigarettes this year, according to data from the CDC and FDA.
That kids aren't just experimenting with e-cigarettes. They're using them all the time.
Not only is nicotine found in many e-cigarettes addictive, but it can also affect a developing brain, which can impact attention, memory, and learning, says Vince Wilmore with the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids.
Many of the e-cigarettes on the market right now deliver huge doses of nicotine. Some of them deliver as much nicotine as a pack of 20 cigarettes.
According to the 2022 National Youth Tobacco Survey, nearly 85% of current middle and high school users chose flavored products. Fruit was the top preferred flavor, followed by mint, menthol, and candy or other sweet flavors.
We need to clear the market of flavored products. But unfortunately, the FDA has missed deadline after deadline to protect our kids.
In a statement, the FDA says it's actively working to identify violations and to swiftly seek corrective actions, particularly for products popular among youth. The agency says it issued warning letters to some of the companies that sell the brand most commonly reported in the survey, adding that the products are being sold without marketing authorization.
FDA says it is illegal for e-cigarettes that are not FDA authorized to be sold. Penalties for retailers or distributors can include seizure, injunction, or a fine. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
All right, we are tracking a line of strong thunderstorms across the region, which we can zoom in and see here. All the way from Butler down toward Independence. And we're watching this particular storm here in Montgomery County as it continues to intensify and also continues to backbuild off to the southwest a little bit. No severe weather, which is the good news for right now, but some of these storms are packing winds upwards of, say, about 40 miles an hour with at least some penny-sized hail. So some strong storms nonetheless. And of course, we've been reminding, make sure you have the KOAM Skywatch weather app to keep ahead of any of the storms across the area. 7th and range line in Joplin right now. We are clear ahead of the storm. 69 in the city. We've got 60, 68 Center, 68 Parsons, 67 Neosho, and 69 in Carthage as we start the day. Your commuter cast. This is the MoDOT camera looking live east on I-44 from range line. A red light for the morning commute because we are watching these thunderstorms with some gusty winds, but your drive home will be good as we clear out, but we still stay breezy as we go through the day. And going through the day, once these storms get out of here about 9 o'clock, we're going to clear out, have a nice day ahead of us, 75 for an afternoon high, and we're going to cool off under mostly clear skies to an overnight low of 48. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Now at 5:30, the city of Pittsburgh heats up its efforts to help people stay warm as the temperatures begin to drop.
That storm we were watching in Montgomery County, now severe warned. We'll have the latest coming up.
And the Miami Police Department takes a sky-high approach to fighting crime, and they're sharing it with some students at Wyandotte High School.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:32. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we do have some severe weather impacting the 4 states right now. This is a storm I was watching in Montgomery County that was starting to show some signs of intensifying, and that is exactly what it has done, as we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery, portions of Wilson, Neosho, and Labette counties until 6:15 this morning. Now, at this particular thunderstorm, we are looking at it right now. It was located near Neodesha. It's moving east at about 45 miles an hour, which we can get a nice track on that at about 45 miles an hour. And that's going to put it in Independence about right now, of course. Cherryvale at 540, Parsons by 558, McCune at 616, Girard by 618 if it continues to hold its track, and wrapping up in Sheridan right around 630. This severe thunderstorm warning, we're looking at wind gusts of about 60 miles an hour and quarter-size hail. Again, this is a newly issued severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Wilson County, northern Labette County, Neosho County, and northeastern Montgomery County. And this goes again until 6:15 this morning. These storms moving east at 45 miles an hour, and they are packing winds, again, about 60 miles an hour and some quarter-size hail. And of course, we're going to continue to keep an eye on this line of storms as it continues to roll through the area this morning. Back to the Skywatch storm tracker on the wider view. You can see this line of storms. I mean, take a look. Some of this activity developing rather recently as we look into even Bourbon County. If we Oh, this particular radar is not wanting to cooperate with me, but we've been watching these storms continue to develop. We knew a few of them might get a bit on the severe side, and that's what we're starting to see in southeast Kansas. And again, this line continuing to push off to the east and roughly southeast and develop back off to the southwest or the southwest as well. Remember, if you don't have the Skywatch weather app, make sure you get it. You can keep the latest severe weather alerts with you at any time. Right now in Joplin, we've been watching the lightning off to the west, 69 and clear in Joplin for now, but these storms heading that way. We've got 60, 68 Center, 68 Parsons, and 67 in Neosho. Live look at the MoDOT camera at I-44 range line looking east. Traffic is good. Roads are dry now, but a red light for your morning commute as we have these showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds, not just with the storms, but ahead of them as well. We've got a green light for your drive home. Still some gusty winds, but we'll clear out this afternoon. Kids getting on the bus definitely need the umbrella and the rain jacket this morning. Thunderstorms, gusty winds, and 64. And when they come home, we're looking at clear skies, still a bit breezy, and 74. Going through the rest of the day, like I said, these storms will be out of here by, say, 9:30 this morning. And then we clear out behind at 75 under beautiful skies. And heading into tonight, we're mostly clear, but we get a little bit on the chilly side, 48 for an overnight low. We, of course, will continue to track these severe thunderstorms in southeast Kansas and bring you the latest updates and have a quick look at the 7-day forecast here in a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds like we've got a lot to follow here.
This morning, it's a little bit on the busy side. So, and again, those severe thunderstorm mornings until 6:15 this morning, 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail right now.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, an autopsy report reveals the extent of a Miami, Oklahoma man's injuries from a fatal hit and run. The crash happened in Miami back in February. Authorities responded to reports of a man down on the road, and when they arrived, they found that a car had hit 58-year-old Kwan Zing Yi. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy report shows the victim suffered 56 specific injuries and that he had multiple blunt force injuries that led to his death. They say his death was classified as an accident. Authorities charged Mindy McBrien in April for first-degree manslaughter and for leaving the scene of a fatality accident. The court has continued her case 5 times, according to court documents, with her next court date set for November. You can find the autopsy report and a breakdown of events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Miami Police Department was at Wyandotte High School on Tuesday, but they weren't investigating any crime or delivering an anti-drug lesson. KOAM Shagun Bamadali was there as students learned about how new technology is helping local investigators.
For the Miami Police Department, drones are served as an efficient tool in apprehending criminals.
We use them for all sorts of city functions, not just police, emergency management, fire department, code enforcement. If we roll up to a scene and we're like a missing person, we can search, 5-10 acres in a matter of minutes, where it would take 5 or 6 officers an hour to do that.
Chief Anderson and the Miami drone team taught aviation students at Wyandotte High School about different types of drones, drone programs, and their uses.
I love the technology. I play games at home, so I've always been interested. My dad hunts a lot, so he uses drones at home, and I've flown some of them. He has some good drones. I've always been really interested in drones.
I like how they track things down and are able to use that technology in being able to solve crimes.
Chief Anderson tells me the drone program is more important than just his field uses.
This technology is emerging. It's an up-and-coming field, and for young aviation students, it's a great demonstration to see what it can do right now. And by the time they're graduated in the field, the capabilities will just be tenfold again. It is ever-evolving field, and just to show them what the capabilities are now and what they can get into, I think it's important to them to see what these can be used for.
In Wyandotte, Shagun Bamadali, KOAM News.
Chief Anderson says the Miami PD drone team is the only law enforcement agency drone team in operation in Northeast Oklahoma.
All right, let's take a quick look again at the severe thunderstorm warnings that we do have in the area right now. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for southeastern Wilson County, northern Labette, Neosho County, and northeastern Montgomery County again until 6:15 a.m. And that is with this cluster of storms here that we've been watching as it's developed this morning within the last hour or so. These storms are moving to the east at about 45 miles an hour, and they are packing winds of around 60 and quarter-size hail. So, of course, we will continue to watch these severe thunderstorms and the other strong storms developing across the area as well throughout the morning. The good news is these storms will clear out of here later this morning. Once they do, they give us an absolutely beautiful day. And on the 7-day forecast, you can see where we shape up pretty decently. 75 today, and we'll be clear with 71 tomorrow. Some showers Saturday, and then very fall-like weather as we head into the start of next week.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. We've got the latest in Hollywood news, including Oscar talk for a movie called Women Talking.
Plus, the stars of the movie Belfast team up for a haunting in Venice. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch in a primetime interview, President Biden called Russian President Vladimir Putin's rhetoric on nuclear weapons irresponsible and his war on Ukraine irrational. The U.S. and its allies are warning Russia not to escalate the conflict. Since Monday, Russian airstrikes have bombarded multiple regions of the country, killing at least 19 people and injuring more than 100. Astrid Martinez has more.
Days after President Biden warned of Armageddon at a Democratic fundraiser, he said on CNN he does not think Russian President Vladimir Putin will use a nuclear weapon.
He, in fact, cannot continue with impunity to talk about the use of a tactical nuclear weapon as if that's a rational thing to do. The mistakes get made. And the miscalculation could occur.
The president also said he believes Putin miscalculated his invasion of Ukraine significantly.
I think he thought he was going to be welcomed with open arms, that this has been the home of Mother Russia in Kyiv, and he was going to be welcomed. And I think he just totally miscalculated.
The interview aired hours after Mr. Biden and other Group 7 leaders held a virtual meeting on Ukraine. It was followed by a lengthy statement warning any use of chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons by Russia would be met with severe consequences. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky addressed the G7 leaders. He called for a new wave of accountability for Russia and asked for more advanced air defense systems. He says more than 100 Russian missiles have been fired at his country since Monday. Ukraine received the first of 4 promised air defense systems from Germany Tuesday. The U.S. says it's also working to speed up the delivery of its advanced air defense systems. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
During the same interview with CNN, President Biden also said he has no intention of meeting with Putin next month when the two are expected to attend the Group of 20 summit in Indonesia. President Biden, though, did say he talked to the Russian leader about releasing WNBA star Brittany Griner. Griner has been in a Russian prison since February on drug charges. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're tracking some severe thunderstorms in southeast Kansas. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings for southeastern Wilson, northern Labette, Neosho County, and northeastern Montgomery counties in southeast Kansas until 6:15 this morning. Associated with this batch of showers and thunderstorms that you see here, we've been watching them develop this morning. A number of these actually got going within the last, hour and a half across the area. This warning goes until 6:15 this morning, and it's for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Of course, we're going to keep a close eye on these storms as they continue to develop and push through the area. Right now at 7th and Range Line, we've still been watching the lightning off in the distance from these storms, and we are clear otherwise in Joplin, 69 with a gusty south breeze. We've got 60 Iola, 67 Chanute, 68 Parsons, 69 Columbus as we start the day. Live look at I-44 on the MoDOT camera looking east from Range Line. Traffic and roads are good now, but we have a red light for your morning commute as these showers and thunderstorms build into the area. Not only will there be strong winds with those thunderstorms, but it will also be breezy ahead of those storms and after those storms. But a green light for your drive home is we'll have clear skies and just a bit on the breezy side. Kids getting on the bus this morning, send them with the rain jacket and the umbrella. Thunderstorms, gusty winds, and 64. Still breezy this afternoon, 74, but clear by the time they come home. Going through the rest of today, we're looking at a high of 75 because we'll clear out, say, 9:30 this morning, and we'll have a lovely day ahead of us. Tonight, we get a little bit on the chilly side, still a bit breezy, dropping to an overnight low of 48 degrees. And a look at the 7-day forecast. We have one more warm up here before things really cool down. We get some showers on Saturday, and we have a very fall-like pattern setting up for the start of next week. Temperatures in the 60s. Look at Monday's low as it drops down to 38. Got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Pittsburgh Fire Department's fire chief announces his retirement. Dennis Riley became the Pittsburgh fire chief in September of 2020, dedicated more than 40 years to the fire service. He said he's going to use his retirement to focus on family, traveling, and his training and consulting business. The city has appointed Battalion Chief Taylor Cern as the interim fire chief. Thursday, October 20th will now be known as Project Warmth Day in Pittsburgh. Mayor Cheryl Brooks recognized the event with its own day. Project Warmth started as a way to help people with utilities in Crawford County as temperatures start to drop. Funds are distributed through Catholic Charities and the Salvation Army, and volunteers are always welcome. Pitt State hosts a conference to discuss the outlook of the local economy. Officials say the local economy relies on the status of the national economy. However, Pittsburgh economists are optimistic about growth within the city. Officials expect both Pittsburgh and the state economy to grow. And the Miami police chief and the Miami drone team flew down to the Wyandotte High School on Tuesday. The team showed the aviation class of the school different types of drones, drone programs, and their uses. Police chief says technology is evolving and students should be aware. The Miami PD drone team is the only law enforcement agency drone team in operation in Northeast Oklahoma. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, we are tracking severe thunderstorms in southeast Kansas right now. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for southeastern Wilson, northern Labette, Neosho, and northeastern Montgomery County in southeast Kansas associated with these storms that you see right here. They are moving east at about 45 miles an hour and packing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some quarter-size hail. So if you are in those counties, do prepare for some severe weather. And we are still tracking thunderstorms across the area as we're watching development all the way up from Butler back down, and redevelopment now taking place back into Washington County in northeast Oklahoma. But again, this severe thunderstorm warning for Wilson, Labette, Neosho, and Montgomery counties in southeast Kansas until 6:15, winds to 60 and quarter-size hail. At 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, we're watching the lightning off in the distance. This is our cow cam here at the station, and we've been watching lightning on it as well. In Joplin, we're still clear ahead of these storms, 69 with a gusty south breeze. We got good temperatures across the area, so there's some energy for these storms to work with. 67 Chanute, 69 Columbus, 67 in Neosho as we start the day. I-44 MoDOT camera looking live east on I-44 from Rangeline. Traffic good, roads good for now, but we got a red light for that morning commute as we'll see these showers and thunderstorms overspread the area, and that only will the storms have gusty winds with them, but we've got the gusty winds ahead of the storms as well. We'll hold on to gusty winds after the storms when we clear out, so a green light for your drive home. Send the kids to school with their umbrella and jacket, at least to the bus stop. 64, some thunderstorms, a very gusty breeze, a gusty wind when they get home, but clearing out 74. Today, we're actually going to be pretty good. These storms move out, say, between 9 and 9:30, then we're left with partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, a high of 75, and we have mostly clear skies tonight. We drop back down to a pretty chilly 48 degrees. And a quick check of the 7-day forecast. We warm up heading into Friday. We hit 80, and then we settle into a fall-like pattern after some showers Saturday. Temperatures in the 60s next week. Overnight lows dropping into the 40s and even the upper 30s. Got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. All right, we have severe thunderstorm warnings that we're continuing to track in southeast Kansas. These are for southeastern Wilson, northern Labette, Neosho, and northeastern Montgomery counties in southeast Kansas until 6:15 this morning. We are continuing to watch these severe thunderstorms as they move off to the east at about 45 miles an hour. They're bringing with them some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some quarter-size hail. So if you are in the path of these storms, if we take a quick look and move this to the east at 45 miles an hour, we're looking at Parsons by 6:02, Oswego by 6:21, Girard at 6:26, Cherokee by 6:34, and into the Pittsburgh area possibly by 6:40 if they do continue to hold their path and their strength. And a quick check of the 7-day forecast shows where once we clear out from this, we warm up, have a very nice day ahead of us, 75 degrees, partly cloudy skies this afternoon. We warm up heading into Friday, some showers on Saturday, and then we have a fall-like pattern that starts to set in next week as temperatures drop back to the 60s and overnight lows back into the 40s and 30s. All right, we're continuing to track severe thunderstorm warnings in southeast Kansas. Again, these are for southeastern Wilson, northern Labette, Neosho, and northeastern Montgomery counties. This is until 6:15 a.m. associated with a line of storms moving east at about 45 miles an hour. There's 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with these storms and some quarter-size hail, and it's roughly this line right here, and we'll track it off to the east at 45 miles an hour. If they continue to remain severe, we're looking at Parsons by 6:04, Oswego by 6:20, Girard at 6:28, Columbus possibly by 6:40, and Pittsburgh by about 6:42. Now, again, that's if they remain severe, but we will continue to track them here in the Skywatch Weather Center. But these aren't the only storms we're watching. We do have additional thunderstorm development stretching all the way from Butler, Nevada to just north of Pittsburgh. We do have some strong thunderstorms there with some penny-sized hail being detected by radar. So if any of those go severe, we will let you know. And then we're watching the additional redevelopment taking place down to the southwest here, heading into Washington County in Oklahoma and near Coffeyville as a few more storms get going. And you can see what we're talking about. We're backing this up to 525, and just within the last half hour, you can see how quickly these storms are developing across the area. So we will keep a very, very close eye on those storms. Now, once these storms move through, we'll have a pretty pleasant day ahead of us. 75 degrees and partly to cloudy to mostly clear skies. We stay breezy, though. Heading into tonight, we're not bad, but chilly. 48, mostly clear skies. And then a quick look at the 7-day forecast does show us where we warm up heading into Friday, and then some showers Saturday. And then we get into a fall-like pattern to start next week. 65 on Monday, 64 Tuesday. Overnight lows dropping into the lower 40s and upper 30s. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News and more on the latest weather right after this.
Right now at 6, the results of an autopsy reveal the extent of the injuries of a Miami man suffered in a fatal hit and run.
Strong to severe thunderstorms across the area that we are tracking. We'll bring you the latest on the warnings coming up.
And the state of city spending is on the table as PSU hosts the annual economic conference.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we are tracking some severe thunderstorms across the area right now. This is the latest view on these severe thunderstorms. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern. Oh, okay. We have good news. That warning has just been dropped. So those storms have dropped below severe limits, but it had been, it was running until 6:15. The good news is that warning has been dropped, but these storms are still strong, packing quite a punch with them. And we're also watching this storm here as it exits Crawford County, starts moving into western Barton County in Missouri. We're watching some of it just to be sure. We do have some strong thunderstorms here. We're looking at penny-sized hail and some gusty winds from Nevada back through Girard and Parsons. And of course, we'll continue to watch these storms and the development taking place down in northeast Oklahoma as well across the area. Look at 7th and Range Line. We've been watching the lightning off in the distance from these storms as they slowly move in toward the area. They're moving roughly east-southeast at about 45 miles an hour. In Joplin, though, we're still we were clear. We're starting to see the clouds increase. In the flashes of lightning, we've been able to see the clouds increasing. 68 in Joplin right now. We've got 68 Parsons, 69 Columbus, 69 Carthage, and 68 in Lamar as we start the day. MoDOT camera looking live at I-44 east from Rangeline. You can see traffic looking pretty good. Roads are good for now, but for your morning commute, we do have a red light because we're going to watch these showers and thunderstorms overspread the area. We have gusty winds ahead of them, and then, of course, these storms themselves could bring some gusty winds as well. But the good news is your drive home looking good because these storms will be out of here about 9:30. We'll clear out. We'll still be breezy, but we'll have decent skies. Kids getting on the bus, they're going to need a jacket and umbrella because we got those thunderstorms coming with gusty winds, 64. And it'll be clear by the time they get home. Still breezy, but 74. Going through the rest of today, we're going to warm up to a high of 75 degrees under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. And into tonight, we're looking at a cool evening and mostly clear skies, 48 degrees. And we'll take a look at the 7-day forecast and, of course, have the latest if any of these storms do become severe again right here on the KOAM Morning News.
All right, a lot to be tracking, that's for sure. All right, thanks, Chris. An autopsy report reveals the extent of a Miami, Oklahoma man's injuries from a fatal hit and run. The crash happened in Miami back in February. Authorities responded to reports of a man down on the road, and when they arrived, they found that a car had hit 58-year-old Quan Zing Yi. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy report shows the victim suffered 56 specific injuries and that he had multiple blunt force injuries that led to his death. They say his death was classified as an accident. Authorities charged Mindy McBrien in April for first-degree manslaughter and leaving the scene of a fatality accident. The court has continued her case 5 times, and that's according to court documents, with her next court date set for November. You can find the autopsy report and a breakdown of events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Emergency workers, life flight, an individual after being struck by a vehicle. Galena Fire Department, Galena Police, Cherokee County Sheriff's deputies, and the Cherokee County Ambulance responded to the 2200 block of Wood following a report of a pedestrian struck by a vehicle. And this is still a developing story, but you can see the footage of the life flight chopper flying off with the individual from the Galena High School practice field, and that happened about 8 p.m. The vehicle was driven from the crash site and the driver was not injured. No further information is available at this time, but you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for updates as they become available. Pitt State hosted a conference on Tuesday to discuss the outlook of the local economy. Officials say the local economy relies on the status of the national economy. However, Pittsburgh economists are optimistic about growth within the city.
It's very optimistic, and especially now with more housing coming online here in Pittsburgh. I mean, literally within the next couple of weeks, we're adding residents, which adds even more growth to the community, and combined with that wage growth, we really feel like this growth will continue locally for some time.
Economists say despite the labor force being smaller, the growing population could soon meet the demand for local jobs. Pittsburgh Fire Department's fire chief announces his retirement. Dennis Riley became the Pittsburgh fire chief in September of 2020, dedicated more than 40 years to the fire service. He says he's going to use his retirement to focus on family, traveling, and his training and consulting business. The city has appointed Battalion Chief Taylor Cern as the interim fire chief. It's all right, kids. Kindergartners at Mark Twain Elementary in Carthage, Missouri spent the day celebrating community helpers. Community helpers can be anyone who goes above and beyond to help their community, such as police, firefighters, and paramedics. Jasper County Sheriff's Department stopped by the school to talk about how they help the community.
Emphasize it's important for parents to have that conversation as well. Learning things like their address, learning things like what to do, those are all very important to learn. I just love to connect with the kids on a personal basis when they talk about things like safety in the community.
It's a week-long celebration, and the Carthage Fire Department will visit Thursday at 2 to discuss how they help the community. Awesome. Destroying things can sometimes be a fun activity. Why not? So the city of Miami hosted a ribbon cutting for the demolition of the Miami Ford building. The building will be replaced by a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram store.
Well, all you have to do to understand why we want to be at this location is drive down Main Street in Miami and see all the improvements and changes that have made. We want to be part of it. We've got a little piece of it now, and we want a bigger piece of the progress that Miami's made.
They expect the building to be finished in about a year. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app.
All right, as promised, a look at that 7-day forecast, and you can see again, once we get through these storms, we'll have a pretty pleasant day. We warm up heading into Friday, some showers on Saturday. And then we get into a fall-like pattern starting by Sunday. Temperatures drop back into the 60s by Monday and Tuesday. And look at the 10-day forecast. We really stay fall-like. Some additional shower chances on next Thursday. Otherwise, temperatures, look at the overnight lows Monday, Tuesday in the 30s. And they get back into the 40s, but otherwise a really nice fall-like pattern setting in. And of course, we are continuing to track some strong thunderstorms across the area. We had some severe thunderstorm warnings earlier this morning. Those have been allowed to expire. But we'll continue to watch the storms, and if any of them re-intensify or we have any other additional warnings, we'll let you know.
All right, and that's a look at this morning's top stories in weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, beloved actress Angela Lansbury passes away at the age of 96. We take a look back at her life and career.
Plus, robots have become commonplace in many aspects of our lives, and that also means healthcare. Today, we meet Robin, a comfort robot, and we want to know how you feel about a robot providing comfort.
And there's growing evidence that hot flashes are not just uncomfortable. They may be a sign of something far more dangerous. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
All right, we have a quick severe weather update for you. We have a whole new series of severe thunderstorm warnings. These are for Barton County, Cedar County, St. Clair, southeastern Vernon, and northwestern Dade County in southwestern Missouri. These are the storms I told you we were watching coming out of Crawford County, but this line extends pretty far north. These severe thunderstorms, we've got quarter-size hail is the primary threat with these, with some gusty winds. And these storms are moving to the east at 45 miles an hour. So we'll do a quick storm track on these for you and see what we're looking at. We're looking at Lamar by 625, Stockton by 645, Greenfield at 704. So if you're in any of those areas, do prepare for some quarter-size hail, some gusty winds as this line of severe thunderstorms moves off to the east at 45. And again, this is Barton, Cedar, St. Clair, southeastern Vernon, and northwestern Dade counties in southwest Missouri until 6:45. We'll have the latest on these storms as they continue to develop this morning. Right now, here's Tanya with Nation Watch.
Well, this morning we are remembering actress Angela Lansbury, who passed away at the age of 96. Here's Jamie Yukas.
It was the theme song for Sunday night.
She's not a suspect, is she?
Angela Lansbury captivated viewers and captured killers as Jessica Fletcher, a lovable mystery writer and amateur detective. Born in London in 1925, her family escaped the Blitz in 1940 and moved to America.
It was just wonderful. I mean, it was just everything I had dreamed that it would be.
From stage to screen,
She's not the only one in the house, is she?
in her first decade, she made 16 films.
I was lucky. I was offered a lot of things very fast.
But Lansbury felt typecast, often playing someone twice her age. So despite her success on the silver screen, she moved back to Broadway.
I knew that I could do something more.
In her 40s, she hit a Tony trifecta, winning for Mame, Dear World, and Gypsy. To an even younger audience, she was Mrs. Potts.
I thought you might like a spot of tea.
After 7 decades in theater, film, and television, that Angela Lansbury loved acting was no mystery. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Hands down my favorite Angela Lansbury movie, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. We'll return with your complete forecast.
Well, we are continuing to track strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. We were dealing with some severe storms in southeast Kansas earlier. Still watching those storms as they continue to move on through. But right now, we have these new severe thunderstorm warnings. These are for Barton, Cedar, St. Clair, southeastern Vernon, and northwestern Dade counties here in southwest Missouri. This warning runs until 6:45. And it is for quarter-size hail and some gusty winds. Hail is the primary threat with this line of storms as it moves off to the east at about 45 miles an hour. So let's do a quick storm track on this big line here at 45. We're looking at Lamar here in about 10 minutes. Wheatland at 6:34, Stockton 6:52, Greenfield at 7:03. And getting into fair play by 7:13 this morning. So these storms continue to generate and build, and some of them even intensifying to severe levels. Now, I don't want to forget the other storms we're watching because we've got more. These storms in southeast Kansas were severe earlier. Thankfully, that warning was allowed to expire a little bit early, but we're still watching them as they continue to move off to the east, southeast. And we're still watching development taking place back here in northeast Oklahoma. In fact, we can back this radar up. This is at about 5:45. Check out just north of Bartlesville. You can watch these storms as they rapidly develop here along this cold front and continue to push off to the east-southeast. So folks in Columbus, Joplin, Carthage, Miami, Neosho, you all will be getting in on some of this activity. But right now, again, we're tracking these severe thunderstorms. Again, for Barton, Cedar, St. Clair, southeastern Vernon, and northwestern Dade counties in southwest Missouri. You can see the Joplin tower cam in the lower right corner of your screen, and that lightning really picking up. These are very electrical storms across the area. I'm also keeping an eye on the southern flank of this storm right around Nashville. You can see some of that pink there. We'll see. We can actually check real quick. See if there's any associated hail. There's some small hail associated with that, but that's roughly how these storms started out earlier as well. It's just some small hail, but they are intensifying quickly as they move off to the east. And again, with these severe thunderstorms in southwest Missouri, we're looking at quarter-size hail as the main threat as they move off to the east at 45, and this warning runs until Wednesday at 6:45. All right, now let's take a look at that tower cam at 7th and Range Line, and you can see the lightning and the activity off to the west and northwest from Joplin. Quite a bit of that lightning out there. We're still partly cloudy in Joplin, of course. It's not here yet with that gusty south breeze. 68 right now. We've got 65 Fredonia, 68 Parsons, Pittsburgh, 69 Columbus, 67 Neosho. So a very mild start for us today. The MoDOT camera live looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Traffic moving all right. The roads are clear. But for your morning commute, we do have a red light because some of you already experiencing this. Everybody else getting in on this for the commute. These showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds. So we're talking gusty winds not just with the storms, but ahead of the storms as well, and even behind the storms once they move out of the area. We got a green light for your drive home, though. We'll clear out. Still be gusty with the wind, but at least the rain will be gone. We're looking at these storms to clear out, say, around 9:30-ish in the area, and we'll, of course, continue to track them as they move through. 64 and stormy by the time the kids go to school this morning with that gusty wind. Look at that, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Still gusting up to 25 this afternoon, 74 and clear when they get home, though. And as we go through today, once these storms push through, we have an absolutely beautiful day lined up for us. 75 for the high. Will be mostly clear to partly cloudy through the afternoon. Then we'll mostly clear this evening. And a little bit on the cool side as we drop back down to a low of 48 degrees. And the weekend forecast, we're looking at some shower chances Saturday, 75, 73 on Sunday. Otherwise, a pretty pleasant weekend, and some fall-like weather is on the way, which we can see on the 7-day forecast. With that fall-like weather once it gets in here. So 71 Thursday, we warm up to 80 by Friday, shower chances Saturday, and then by the time we get into next week, temperatures in the 60s. Overnight lows, of course, stay a little bit on the mild side when we get mild, and then they get to a fall-like pattern. I want to show you the 10-day forecast real quick as well, where you can see we remain fall-like with some additional rain chances by next Thursday. Overnight lows Monday, Tuesday in the 30s, and then a slightly more usual lows as we get back into the 40s. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, there's growing evidence that hot flashes are not just uncomfortable, but stress the heart and could lead to a heart attack or stroke. New research presented at the annual meeting of the North American Menopause Society shows women with more frequent hot flashes are more likely to be at increased risk of cardiovascular disease, which is the leading cause of death in women. A UK study finds non-premature babies born below the 25th percentile for weight are more likely to have developmental concerns. Researchers tracked the development of more than 600,000 infants and found smaller babies were at greater risk of having delayed motor and communication skills as toddlers. And a new study finds when the temperature climbs to extreme levels, more people go to the emergency room for kidney problems. Over an 8-year period, researchers linked meteorological data in New York State with more than 1 million emergency room visits, where doctors saw an increased number of people with acute kidney injuries, kidney stones, and urinary tract infections on hot days. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching some severe thunderstorms across the area. As you can see, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Missouri and strong storms on a line now from just north of Tulsa back into Craig County, southeast Kansas, and then the severe thunderstorm warning. So let's take a first look at those. This is until 6:45 this morning for southeastern Vernon County, Barton County, Cedar County, St. Clair County, and northwestern Dade, as we've got this line of severe storms packing some quarter-size hail and some gusty winds. Hail is the primary threat on these. We can do a quick storm track along this line as it moves off to the east at about 45 miles an hour. Lamar, you are next in line here in about 6 or 7 minutes. Golden City by 6:45, Stockton by 6:46. Greenfield by 7:03. So we, of course, will continue to track these storms as they move through the area. And these aren't the only ones we're watching. We had severe thunderstorm warnings earlier in southeast Kansas. Those have since been allowed to expire. But as you can see, we're watching additional development across northeast Oklahoma. We backed the radar up. Watch the storm in Craig County. This is 20 minutes ago. And then that storm just fires right up and is already picking up some strength. Same with the ones back to the north of Tulsa as well. So we'll watch all of these storms this morning and keep an eye on any severe warnings that pop up. Again, we have these ones, these severe thunderstorm warnings, Barton, Cedar, St. Clair, Vernon, and Dade counties until 6:45. Quarter-size hail and storms moving off to the east at about 45 miles an hour. Now, once these storms move on through, we're going to be treated to a pretty nice day. They'll get out of here, say, about 9:30. We'll have partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, 75 for the afternoon high. Still breezy, but not bad. Breezy this evening as well. We'll drop back down to 48, mostly clear across the area. And I know some folks do have that interest within the sunrise sunset times. I want to show that this morning. Sunrise is 7:23 this morning. Sunset will be 6:45 this evening. Quick look at the 7-day forecast. We're 71 tomorrow, 80 on Friday. We get some showers on Saturday, and then we enter a fall-like pattern for the start of next week. 65 Monday, 64 Tuesday. We drop back down to an overnight low of 38 Monday night. And a look at the week ahead after that, a very fall-like pattern. Some shower chances by next Thursday. 39 Tuesday night, and then we see the 40s return for overnight lows Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to continue to track these storms as they move through the area. Any new warnings or updates, we will pass them along to you right away here on the KOAM Morning News. We'll be back with more right after this.
Right now at 6:30, the results of an autopsy reveal the extent of injuries a Miami man suffered in a fatal hit and run.
We are continuing to track strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. We'll have the latest coming up.
And the state of city spending is on the table as PSU hosts the annual economic conference.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we are tracking severe thunderstorms across the area this morning. We do have these severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Missouri right now. The only warnings on the board, but there are a few of them out there. So let's take a look and see what exactly we've got going on right now. So these are until 6:45 this morning. This is for Barton, Cedar, St. Clair, southeastern Vernon, and northwestern Dade counties. Again, until 6:45. This morning. This is for quarter-size hail, radar-indicated quarter-size hail with this line of storms as it moves off to the east at about 45 miles an hour. So if we do a quick storm track on this for you this morning, we'll drag this off to the east at 45 miles an hour. These storms moving into Lamar right now. And then we've got Golden City by 6:47, Stockton at 6:55, Greenfield by 7:05 a.m. So we will continue to track these showers and thunderstorms as they move through the area. They're not the only ones, though. We're still watching stronger storms back across southeast Kansas and additional development taking place across northeast Oklahoma as well that we'll keep an eye on as they start to move into the Joplin area and the Pittsburgh area this morning. Pittsburgh already getting some showers and storms. Real quick look, 7th and range line. We've been watching the lightning off in the distance, and boy, we've been getting quite a light show out there. We're still ahead of the storms in Joplin, though, so 68 degrees with that gusty south wind. Decent temperatures across the area, 62 Chinook, Parsons, 69 Columbus, 67 in the Osho. Your commuter cast, live MoDOT camera, I-44 looking east from Rangeline. A red light this morning for showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds. Gusty winds this afternoon, but a green light because we'll clear out once these storms get through. Send the kids to the bus stop with the umbrella and rain jacket. Thunderstorms, gusty winds, 64. Then we clear out this afternoon, still breezy, but 74 by the time they get home. As we plan the rest of your day, we're going to clear out, say, about 9:30. Then we're looking at partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, a high of 75. And we'll dip back down to a cool 48 degrees tonight for the overnight low under mostly clear skies. We'll, of course, continue to track these storms as they move through the area, bring you the latest updates and warnings. And time permits, we're going to take another look at the 7-day forecast and show you a very fall-like week ahead.
All right. Yes, definitely have a lot to discuss, and thank you so much for keeping on track of this morning.
Yeah, it's a lot to track. It's since I took over on morning weather, it's just been hot, dry, and miserable, and so it's
putting you to the test this morning.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Throwing me right in there with a number of these severe thunderstorm warnings. But we will keep you updated on the latest and any updates and new warnings if they should come about.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Well, an autopsy report reveals the extent of a Miami, Oklahoma man's injuries from a fatal hit and run. The crash happened in Miami back in February. Authorities responded to reports of a man down on the road, and when they arrived, they found a car had hit 58-year-old Quan Zing Yi. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy report shows the victim suffered 56 specific injuries and that he had multiple blunt force injuries that led to his death. They say his death was classified as an accident. Authorities charged Mindy McBrien in April for first-degree manslaughter and leaving the scene of a fatality accident. The court has continued her case 5 times, and that's according to court documents, with her next court date set for November. You can find the autopsy report and a breakdown of events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The annual economic conference was held at Pittsburgh State University. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to local economists about the outlook of Pittsburgh.
Economists and business officials gathered at Pittsburgh State University to discuss the economic outlook. Officials say that there is potential for growth in Kansas.
So I think Kansas will do better, even on the energy side as well, another one. We'll do better relative to the U.S. in this context. So a 0% growth net, which will decline the first half but come back, but we have driving sectors that will allow us to do better here.
Local businesses is one of the reasons why Pittsburgh economy is strong.
Local businesses, then we're going to be doing okay even if we have a recession, but we just won't grow a whole lot.
The city of Pittsburgh is still growing and has a bright outlook for this coming year due to the local businesses and the population growth.
Lack of labor force, the labor force is not coming back, just like nationwide. It's not coming back like it should, and there are like 700-800 jobs open in the Pittsburgh area that are unfilled. So of course that is an impediment of job growth, but hopefully the labor force is going to come back, and having new population growth, might solve that.
The new population growth will increase the labor force, construct more residents, and improve wages.
It's very optimistic, and especially now with more housing coming online here in Pittsburgh. Literally within the next couple of weeks, we're adding residents, which adds even more growth to the community, and combined with that wage growth, we really feel like this growth will continue locally for some time.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The economic conference is held every year to assess the economic state of the city, state, and country. Well, this morning we're discussing robots providing comfort.
A hospital in Massachusetts is taking a novel, high-tech approach to making children more comfortable in medical settings. It's an Armenian-developed robot named Robin.
It can't take the place of humans or dogs, but staff in the UMass Memorial Children's Medical Center actually see Robin playing an important role in easing fear.
In fact, Time magazine named the interactive robot one of the best inventions of 2021 and praised Robin's ability to put sick children at ease.
Which brings us to our question. How do you feel about robots providing comfort?
Are you for it, against it, or do you have no opinion? So far, 69% of you say you're for it, 25% are against, and 6% of you have no opinion. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. A real quick look at the latest on our severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have these in effect for portions of southwest Missouri. This is going to still be for Vernon counties, Barton County, Cedar County, Dade County, and St. Clair County until 6:45. These storms moving off to the east at 45. This is for quarter-size hail. Right now, the only warnings that we do have are these, but we're still tracking some additional strong thunderstorms. 7-day forecast shows we do get pretty decent after this. We're 75 today, 71 tomorrow, 80 Friday, showers on Saturday, and then a fall-like pattern sets in for next week.
All right. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, hear ye, hear ye. We're in the presence of royalty as the Maple Leaf Queen and her royal court grace the studio this morning.
And we're going to take another look at these storms across the area when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Welcome back. As I said, we're in the presence of royalty this morning. We have Stephanie Cheetah herself, the Maple Leaf Queen, and her royal court. And joining us as well, Tiara Haas, pageant coordinator. Would you like to introduce everybody that's here this morning for us?
Let's see, we have Stephanie Cheetah, our queen, and her court. We have Logan Klim, Kendra Adams, and our little Mr. Maple Leaf, Stetson, and our Miss Maple Leaf toddler, Alessia.
Hi, well, first of all, I want to congratulate you guys. It's such an honor to have this title for the whole year, which is really awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the pageant was on Sunday, what the process was for them to go through.
They had to learn an opening number. We had rehearsals throughout the week. They practiced their talent, and we did all kinds of fun stuff. It was a lot of work, but these girls did amazing, and guys.
Yes, and this is something that, I mean, you have to be a student in the school district, correct? Why does Maple Leaf do this, the city of Carthage do this each year?
To show that we have some good kids in our area and that they have some amazing talents, and just to put the focus on them and to get an amazing court to show off the rest of the events, because they go to all the other events and kind of put the spotlight on the events, and they introduce them at everything, and they're just there to kind of add a little extra light and pizzazz to it.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie, tell me what was going through your mind when you were going through the competition and then when you found out you had won.
Okay, so it was a learning experience because this was my first pageant ever. And I'm Hispanic, and this isn't something that's commonly done in like the Hispanic community. So everything was new, but I definitely felt all the support and love from my friends and my family. That's awesome. And whenever I won, I don't know, I couldn't believe it, but I was really happy, and I was honored to be able to represent the community of Carthage with other people who are proud to represent the community of Carthage as well.
So where is Stephanie and her court's first stop?
Let's see, this evening we'll be at the Night of Praise event at the Nazarene Church, and then tomorrow on to the lip sync, and then prepare for that parade.
All right, so the big parade. Everyone's heard about the parade. KOAM, of course, will be participating in the parade. This is like the biggest parade in the 4 states. What can you tell us what to expect from it?
The bands are always a big thing for the parade. I myself have marched in that parade since I was in junior high and been a part of it for many years, and so the bands have always been the highlight, so that's my favorite part.
All right, and I know KOAM will be out there with the Rotary Brats at noon on Friday, and there's a big car show that you guys will be at as well. We'll be broadcasting live from 5 and 6 in the evening on Friday as well. What are some of the other things going on Saturday that you guys will be out besides the parade? Or is parade the big event for Saturday?
Parade, band competition, car show. What else we got going on, Julie?
Well, we'll have lots of activities that they'll have the opportunity to introduce a lot of the bands that will be performing, and various activities throughout that we will plug them in, and so they can meet even more of the community and the community can get to know them.
That's awesome. Okay, so you guys are going to be representing Carthage for the entire year. do you have any goals as queen, or anything you want to accomplish this year?
Definitely get more out of my comfort zone, because this was a really big step for me. I consider myself as an introvert. Like, I don't really try new things, so definitely putting myself out there more.
I guess I didn't ask you earlier. Tell me a little bit about yourself, like what year you were in school, what your future plans are.
Okay, so I'm a senior in high school, and my future plans after high school is to continue my education, to go to college somewhere close to home, to pursue an interest in the medical field. I'm not sure what yet, but that's definitely calling my attention.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I wish you guys all the best in your future. And it's going to be a fun week in Carthage and across the 4 states, of course. But place to be Saturday morning for sure, 9 a.m. for the parade, and all the other events on the schedule as well. So if you want to meet these lovely individuals, tonight is the first one you said, Night of Praise at the Carthage Nazarene Church, correct? All right, come say hello. All right, anything else you want to add?
No, just come out and have fun. There'll be a lot of vendors. So I'm excited. Pancakes bright and early on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, well, thank you so much for coming in. We'll be right back. We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Private First Class Christopher Loudon. The Thayer, Kansas native served in Iraq in 2006 as part of the 84th Engineering Battalion in Fort Richardson, Alaska. To Private First Class Christopher Loudon, we thank you. Today's 4-state hero.
All right, it is time to celebrate some Wednesday birthdays across the area, and we begin in Fulton, Kansas with Ryson Keating, celebrating birthday number 2. What a great smile, Ryson. Happy birthday.
And Rhett Kelly turning 10 years old this year in Uniontown. Happy birthday, Rhett.
And Emerson Walker also turning 10 over in Columbus. Emerson, a very happy birthday to you.
And Grayson Thurlow celebrating birthday number 12. That means it's his golden birthday today. Hope you have a great one, Grayson.
And we've got Landry Morris in Lamar celebrating birthday 13. A very happy birthday to you.
In Golden City, Robbie Stafford celebrating Sweet 16 this year. Looks like he's got his driver's license too. All right.
We've got a lot of 16s. We've also got Reese Norris celebrating birthday number 16 in Chanute. Very happy birthday to you, Reese.
And Lily Kennard celebrating Sweet 16. Little throwback picture there of Lily, I'm guessing, in Chatopa.
And we've also got Lane McGinnis celebrating birthday number 20 in Girard. Lane, a very happy birthday to you.
And Dalton Graham celebrating birthday number 21 with a big catch there. Dalton is in Redfield, Kansas.
And we've got Gunnar Wixon celebrating number 45 with another big catch over in Baxter Springs. Gunnar, a very happy birthday to you.
It's my girl, Lisa Henkel, celebrating birthday number 52 this year. She told me she had to work today, but I'm sure she'll have fun as well. Lisa is in Sheldon, Missouri with love from your friends.
And we've got Terry Barno celebrating birthday number 70 in Chanute. Terry, a very happy birthday to you.
And Patrick Richardson celebrating a birthday in Columbus.
And wrapping up our birthday list, we've got Elaine Huntsinger in Pittsburgh celebrating birthday number 81. This comes with love from the Crestline girls. We've also got Emma Lynn celebrating a birthday in Columbus, and Nicole Berger celebrating birthday number 55 in Frontenac. Now, if you've got birthdays or anniversaries you want to send to us, Tanya knows exactly how you can do that.
Yeah, just send us an email and include the picture, of course, with the name, and your hometown would be great too, and the birthday. The day of the birthday is even more important. Birthdays, send it to birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com or birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com.
And of course, while you're visiting our website for the latest information on just about everything, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. Super simple to do. You get some cool deals from local businesses, and you also get a nice little birthday message from us. So make sure you sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club at KOAMNewsNow.com. Okay, Good news, that severe thunderstorm warning that was encompassing a good chunk of southwest Missouri allowed to expire at 6:45, but we are still dealing with strong thunderstorms across the area, stretching back from Osceola to Lamar, Carthage, Columbus, Miami, and then some additional storms separate from all of that, just to the southwest of Veneta, near Adair as well. So we are watching all of these strong storms across the area. We've had a number of different severe thunderstorm warnings from southeast Kansas to southwest Missouri. And of course, we'll continue to track these storms through the morning. And if there are any additional warnings issued, we will let you know right away. 7th and Range Line. This has been an exciting view because since my drive in, I left the house about 3:30 this morning. Been watching lightning off in the distance, and as these storms get closer, the lightning gets brighter and of course a little bit more on the intense side. Also, the lightning seems to be a bit camera shy. Every time we do this, it suddenly stops, even though it's been going all morning long. Temperatures in Joplin, there's a little bit finally. 69, the airport reporting thunderstorm activity. And if you saw on the radar, the northern edge of Joplin getting in on some shower and thunderstorm activity. The rest of Joplin will be doing so here shortly with this cold front. 68 Center, 62 Chanute and Parsons, and you can see where the cold front is and where the rain has been, because then we jumped to 68 in Columbus, 68 in Neosho, and 66 in Monette. Live look at the MoDOT camera from I-44 looking east from Range Line. Traffic picking up this morning. Still have a red light for your commute this morning because we'll have these showers and thunderstorms overspreading the area. Temperatures in the 60s and gusty winds, not just with the storms, but ahead of the storms and even after the storms. So a green light for your drive home, but still breezy, mostly clear skies. Bus stop forecast, final check of that. Kids, if they're getting on the bus right now, you should probably have your umbrella and your jacket ready because we got those thunderstorms, the gusty winds, 64. Now, you'll be able to put all that in your backpack when you come home because we'll be 74, still breezy, but otherwise clear. And once these storms clear out in the next couple of hours or so, 2 or 3 hours, we will be mostly clear, maybe some partly cloudy skies, 75 for the high, so a beautiful day after all of this. We get a little chilly tonight as we drop back down to an overnight low of 48 under mostly clear skies. And we have the tower cam visible and a few other monitors, and as soon as we were done talking, that's when the lightning really started to pick up. I'm telling you, lightning's a bit camera shy. We're 71 tomorrow, 80 on Friday, then more showers Saturday, and a fall-like pattern sets in for the rest of next week with temperatures in the 60s. Overnight lows are a little bit mild Friday because we're warmer Friday, and they settle into fall-like pattern Monday night. Look at that, 38. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Pittsburgh Fire Department's fire chief announces his retirement. Dennis Riley became the Pittsburgh fire chief in September of 2020. Dedicated more than 40 years to the fire service. He says he's going to use his retirement to focus on family, traveling, and his training and consulting business. The city has appointed Battalion Chief Taylor Cern as the interim fire chief. Thursday, October 20th, will now be known as Project Warmth Day in Pittsburgh. Mayor Cheryl Brooks recognized the event with its own day. Project Warmth started as a way to help people with utilities in Crawford County as temperatures start to drop. Funds are distributed through Catholic Charities and the Salvation Army, and volunteers are always welcome. Pitt State hosts a conference to discuss the outlook of the local economy. Officials say the local economy relies on the status of the national economy. However, Pittsburgh economists are optimistic about growth within the city. Officials expect both Pittsburgh and the state's economy to grow. And the Miami police chief and the Miami drone team flew down to the Wyandotte High School on Tuesday. The team showed the aviation class of the school different types of drones, drone programs, and their uses. Police chief says technology is evolving and students should be aware. The Miami PD drone team is the only law enforcement agency drone team in operation in Northeast Oklahoma. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We are still tracking strong thunderstorms across a good portion of the area. We had a number of severe thunderstorm warnings throughout the morning, starting in southeast Kansas, then spreading into southwest Missouri. And the good news is no severe thunderstorm warnings yet, but we are still dealing with this line of strong storms from Osceola, Stockton, Lamar, Carthage, just starting to get into the Joplin area, Columbus, just east of Oswego, Miami, and then we're Keeping an eye on this, heading for Delaware County, just to the southwest of Veneta or northwest of Pryor Creek. So thunderstorms across the area. Once these storms clear out today, we'll be partly cloudy, mostly clear. We're going to head for a high of 75 degrees, so not bad at all. And then as we go into tonight, we are looking at mostly clear skies, and it'll be cool as we drop back down to 48. And a quick look at the 7-day forecast. If we've got that, there we go. Look at that. We warm up a bit, and then we have fall-like weather starting next week.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making apple cobbler shortbread squares in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Baltimore prosecutors have dropped charges against Adnan Syed. Next on CBS Mornings, his attorney on why her client was cleared of murder.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And then this morning, the importance of blood transfusions for pets.
Plus, our own Carrie Worthen takes us to the Tar Creek Superfund site for a closer look at what 120 years of active mining and contamination can do to a community. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. Storm starting in Joplin. Coming down pretty good. We'll have more on the storms over on KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.